Dusk sits on a sofa, listening to music as outside the dead wander. Right now, she's seeking but a little bit of leather to be able to repair her very special tool belt that can contain all manner of things. But she might not be able to find all of those things here. So she will continue to carve her way north, towards the Exodi, towards salvation from her own DNA. Dusk walks once more into the night. Kia ora, Legionnaires, Rycon here, and welcome back to Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead, No Hope, where I didn't forget that our cloak was over here. Look at us go, look at us go. Before we actually do go any further, I'm going to have a look at our head. Bandaged, good, so that should be recovering totally fine. We're under the effects of many painkillers, so that's also fine. I am noticing now that our gun belt and our greater dimensional tool belt, they are screwing with each other a little bit. Let's activate the gun belt to draw out our wand of fireball. We'll put Dawn away for a moment here, just because I want to see how different it is when we, mess around with our encumbrance. Encumbrance went up a lot because we just put Dawn away. But if we go and take off our gun belt here, okay, yeah, it was creating a little bit of extra encumbrance here that we didn't really need. So we'll go and put this back into our inventory for now, and we'll draw Dawn back out. Now that gun belt, that's made out of leather, right? So theoretically, we should just be able to take that sucker apart. So let's maybe do that. I really hate the idea of doing it right where this body is. So we're going to go and shift this body off of this square here. There we go. So that Dusk can go prone, and so that she can take off the cloak once again. Or maybe it isn't the cloak. Maybe it's just the blouse that has to come off. Let's put the cloak back on and see if it covers us up. Okay, it does. So we have to take that off as well. That's fine. So now, if we attempt to disassemble our Western gun belt, which, it is unfortunate. Oh, it takes an hour? What if we were just to cut it up? Let's drop the Western gun belt onto the ground and cut it up. 2 seconds. 3 leather patches. It's something. It's something. We'll take those leather patches. I don't know how much we're going to need to be able to repair our tool belt. I don't even know if we're going to be able to. Our skill might just not be there yet. So let's see. Success chance, very, very slim. Now, the back scabbard we can repair, which, I'm totally on board with us doing that as well. So maybe we will have a look at doing that. Yeah. So we will attempt to, just say until we get a success or a failure. We should have a success here. And sure enough, we do. We managed to completely repair that then as we listen to some Christian gospel on the MP3 player. Well, I'll be damned. Okay, let's go get both of these back on for now. Want to make sure that we're not leaving anything on the ground around us here. It does not look like we are. Okay, good. So standing back up, we are going to make our way outside just as soon as we deal with those dead. We don't really have to smash them, but I think Dusk was in the mood. The camera may have some information on it or just pictures that we can look at. There is a smartphone there that is unbrowsed, and we actually don't have knowledge of this area. So I think it's probably worth us having a look at that thing. So let's go smart, unbrowsed, manage files, and browse this one here. So there is a map cache on there, some poetry as well. Let's have a look at that, and we'll be sure to drop that off. And let's see what we got. Okay, lots of water. So we're actually right on the edge of this at the moment. And I was afraid, interesting. I was afraid that we were going to have a hard time crossing here, but it looks like this is the end of the river, or it's where it originates from. We've got an urban city block here. Yeah, okay, so we kind of just need to follow this around until we connect up here. All right, let's have a look at doing that. Our dark site is still active at the moment, which is good. We are pretty low on mana, but look at that. We've got a wire basket on this bike as well. Things are looking up, Dusk. So let's look forwards and try and navigate, ideally, back onto a road, because we really can't see all that far right now. Okay, we just made that. We can see that we were turning the bicycle slightly slower than we meant to. All right, now we start to speed up, carrying on. And it sounds quiet because we're not kind of hearing everything at the moment. All right, let's just keep on going. Oh, okay, so we were pulled off then. I'm not sure by what exactly. Something. Tough zombie. It could have just been a grab, but we can see that time is slowing down as we instinctively dodge. We may have dodged off of that. Oh dear. Oh, okay, because we are wearing the blouse once again. We weren't actually wearing that before. Okay, so I don't think that we're going to want Mana Storm Zombie. Hello? Where are you? Down there. Huh. Okay. Let's just back up a little bit here. That electricity, not super great for our electronics and other such things. Caustic amalgamation. All right. That's a whole load of trouble that we don't necessarily want to be dealing with. They're going to be eating our bicycle alive right now. So we can look at keeping the blouse on, but not while we're riding a bike. No, not at all. Okay, I think we're going to get outpaced here, so we need to try and get a little bit more distance. I'm not sure what that was, fighting that big zombie up there, but we're just going to back off for a moment here. We are still being followed by this caustic amalgamation. I think we might be able to get away with a force shove here. 10 moves, very fast, only a 26% chance of failure. And we know now that we can just shove up like that. What? We destroyed the wall? Wild. I mean, oh, it is just a white wall, so it's not even concrete. But still, that, feels so powerful after that. Okay, we lost concentration that time, unfortunately. So yeah, we want to shove you up in that direction there. Sick. Damn, that's cool. Of course, we do need to remember that we are expending stamina while we are doing that. Our mana's popped back up to 900 as well, so we've been recovering that over time. So the bike is gone right now, and the bike will probably stay gone. Honestly, it is more than likely going to be easier for us to progress on foot. We have more options with where we can go, what we can do, etc. Now, if we had a vehicle, like a working vehicle, that's an entirely different story. But I think for the moment, we're just going to pilot our way around here, take out troublesome foes, and we're going to keep the MP3 player on because it is kind of helping with our focus. Now, a lot of the dead would have heard that, so, oh, hey, you can't see all that well, can you? No. All right, so let's avoid shockers and things like that when we can, just because we don't want our stuff to get too toasted. All right, it would be nice if we could extend our galvanic field to our items. You know, that would be kind. We are seeing electricity sparks still because that is our own electrokinesis doing that for us. Dodging and weaving. Yeah, I'm just going to try and keep a very close eye on... Ooh, I'm not liking this so much. I was going to say keep a close eye on how much stamina we're losing to the dodges that we make. Okay, let's just get a little bit further away here. I'd like to get some stamina back if possible. We may have to kind of try and stand our ground here, fight against these elves. I am okay with that. Ooh, Nightcrawler. I feel like we've been in this exact position before recently. Dusk, doing good. Alright, so we are going to try and get our breath back. Deranged Axeman, hello. You might actually have something leather on you that we can take. Ferals aren't like fully zombified yet. Leather pants, see? There we go. And leather sandals. We will take both of those, thank you. I'd love to be able to crack this open. Now, we are being seen right now, so I think that could be like a fairy fire. It is fairy fire. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that nothing had been destroyed. Okay, we could just stand here for now, hold our ground. We've got a few ferals, so that's more potential leather. We can look at it that way. Dusk still has a fair amount of stamina, and now we don't. That's how quickly that happens. And that's maybe why we don't run with our dodge, because, man, we just burn through that stamina so quickly. So let's look at other options to get out of here, because we can't use our stamina to move. However, lesser quantum tunnel will help us get away. Now, we're going to do that again immediately because, we need to. So we might be able to get lucky, take a few good strikes here, take down a few of our enemies, but as soon as we start getting surrounded like that, we have to just boop, get out. Lesser quantum tunnel, zip, zapping around. Okay, that's a great position for us to be in. Unfortunately, the amalgamations can see us. Wow. Yeah, when we're out of breath like that, it takes so long to move. Okay, where are we at mana-wise? We're at 600 at the moment. It is taking us 95 each time we do this. So we can maybe do like 6 more. Tops. The amalgamations keeping up with us is a problem. I'm going to try and see if we can move down here, strike at a few of them. All right, surrounded once again. Lesser quantum tunnel. We're away again, but unfortunately, it's the amalgamations that are really doing us in here because they can see us from so much further away. We've lost Dawn now, so let's try and see if we can figure out where that dropped. Okay, so we can see Dawn at the moment is back over there. Okay, yet again, not the end of the world. I am seeing a potential out, this here. If we can get up, if we can get stamina, that's how we roll. But getting up there will be difficult, especially with the just general lack of stamina that we have going on right now. We still have more jumps that we can make, so I think we'll try and see if we can get into a slightly better position here. There's only a 5% chance of failure. That's not a bad position to be in. If we were to go like crouched, we can't be seen. However, we have already been seen by the amalgamation out there, which is unfortunate. We may be able to do something though still. So we're going to change from brawling. We are going to go to Tai Chi, and we're going to try and hold this position. Ideally getting some stamina back here. We don't need a lot, we just need some. Okay, so we did some damage. 10 damage. It takes less stamina for us to use our fists here. Unfortunately, we're in the window. I don't know if we can get out of the window. Again, our stamina is screwing us. Specifically, the chest piece that we've got on. So that really needs to go as soon as possible. All right. Yet again, could be worse. It's the leaping amalgamation that is getting to us. Okay, so if we were in a world in which we had some stamina, that would be great, but alas, we do not. Even taking the thing off right now isn't going to work for us. I want to try and see if we can do some damage here. All right, we can damage the bone plate wolf easily enough. The enemies are going to surround us. Dusk, this is a rather tricky position to be in. So, do we think we can make it to that before we get completely overwhelmed? It's very difficult to know. We've got a zombie elf. Each step we get a little bit closer, but those dodges, the dodges are screwing us right now. The dodges will actually get us killed. That's so frustrating. We need to get that off as soon as possible. Honestly, I think we might just have to try and tank some damage here to remove it. Take it off. It's off. It is off. My God. So, no more losing stamina to terrible maneuvers. But we are unfortunately going to have to make some more terrible maneuvers. We are nearly completely spent at this stage. We lost concentration. We lost a little bit of mana. I think we should still be able to cast. This is it. This is the last casting. This is all that we've got left. And it doesn't really even get us all that far. We take out the wand of fireball. We end up completely surrounded with the dead piling on top of Dusk. she's actually managed to get a tiny bit of stamina back as her breath is being squeezed out of her. She activates the wand. Okay, so we are right smack bang in the center here. Ideally, we do not strike ourselves with this. A almighty fireball rips out through the night, killing many of the dead that are around us. We only have a few more of these that we can do. So let's try and get as many as we can. That's pretty good. Nearly all of the ones that are in front of us, narrowly missing ourselves with that. Okay, so there is just this lot down here now. We fire again. We actually have one more than I thought. That's us there? Yeah? No? That's a zombie that's downed. We're here. It's very difficult to make to make ourselves out through all of this wonderful, magnificent destruction. Tears through the early night. And now we only have like 3 dead left. The leaping amalgamation is still a major issue that we are going to need to deal with. As well as everything else that is no doubt going to come charging over towards us now. Right now, I think the best thing that we can do is start to try and move over this way here. They're still getting crushed here. So, we have one more that we can do. So let's just try and figure out who are the best ones for us to go for. Honestly, I think it's probably more the right-hand side here, if possible. Obviously, we do not want to be hitting ourselves. Now, if there is a world in which we can get quite a few, it is the amalgamation, though, that I'm still concerned about. So, let's try and go for something like that. It's going to get 3, including the amalgamation, which is now nearly dead. Okay, that's good. So, I wonder, reloading that's going to take way too long. We have a tiny bit of stamina. Is it enough for us to be able to do a force shove here? 38% chance of failure, we need to attempt it. And we were successful. We want to shove that against the wall, ideally. All right, we slam it against the wall. It is stunned. There is fire there behind it. If we could somehow push it into the fire, that would be amazing. We also have mana potions as well, but I do not know if we can drink one fast enough. Because downing one might give us what we need. I think we're going to try. Let's see. Keep going. We're suffocating. We got it off. We got it off. We were being crushed against the wall. Suffocated. But Dusk did it. Okay. God. Lesser quantum tunnel. Not into the fire, please. We're away for a moment, and we have a tiny bit of stamina. Our strength is sapped, though. Let's keep moving. I still don't see a way up or out, but maybe there is. Maybe there is an out up here. It fully depends on whether this is a two-story. I don't think it is. Okay, so, phase. We might have enough stamina to be able to do it. Range 2. If we are able to phase up here, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Dusk lives. Hot damn. All right. Slotting a new crystal into her wand. The dead build up around her. Her torso aches, her ribs bruised, some slightly broken from the weight of the dead that were upon her down below. And now they gather. Oh, so many. We launch. Fireball. Hits beneath. Another. Fire in the night as the dead are taken by flame. And so too is the roof. Mind you, so too is the roof. We're going to chuck out a mind hammer here, ideally. Slam that thing into the ground. We try again. No, we don't have the stamina to do so. Well, that's unfortunate. Flesh Raptor, hi. We can't actually do anything to hurt you right now. So, fire is starting to engulf the neighborhood, which is a little less than ideal. I'd love to get dawn. And here's the thing, I think we can do it pretty quickly, but we need stamina to be able to do it. Wow. Oh my gosh. There's a few dead down there, huh? There's brutish amalgamation, among others. Oh my gosh. This is fine. Let's just shoot a little bit further back from where we were. Oh my gosh, there's so many of them down there. Yeah, see, we're kind of getting the roof that we're standing on, so that's what we want to be wary of. We can also potentially be grabbed, so that's another thing that we need to watch out for, because we don't want to be pulled down into that, because that is death like we've never known it. Well, hello, Amalgamation. Welcome back to round 2. Mind Hammer. Slam that thing into the ground. Dusk. Wonderful stuff. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Okay, we have 2 more that are coming for us now. We get ready, and we are going to attempt to go for a Mind Hammer. Getting ready once more. Looks like we need a little bit more stamina. Do we have it yet? Not quite. It will come back, though. So, we stay here for now. I'm not concerned about losing Dawn to the flames. Maybe I should be concerned. Damn, it uses a little bit of stamina, even when we fail. Unfortunate. We're gonna need more than that. Wow, that fire is starting to get close, huh? We feel our torso starting to get warm. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Yep. I wonder how bad the situation out the front is, huh? I wonder. 36% chance of failure. Not great. That is rather unfortunate. This thing is nearly dead. I'm just going to go to a force unarmed strike, and we're just going to try and see if we can strike it. We can potentially get lucky there. I also don't want to get hit for free by the thorny shambler down below. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so we could try and do another flamey strike over in that direction there. What I need more than anything right now, though, is stamina. We need stamina back. Big time. Yeah, I will actually stop there. We could just try and point flare that down, potentially. Our right arm is bleeding a little bit right now. Like, this is not the episode that I was anticipating. But ain't that just the way it is? Okay. Yeah, let's stop that bleeding. Put you down here for now, and let's take you back into our hand. So, there is one good way that we might be able to get across there that isn't necessarily going to rely on our stamina, because it is going to take a little bit for that stamina to fully return to us. And hey, we're a little bit thirsty as well. We are going to need more mana if this is to actually work here. So, let's drink. Thorny Shambler is close now. We've lost our dark sight. That's okay. We can see just far enough. With Storm Shaper and with Shocking Dash, 0% chance of failure, and a range of 4, I think we can make it across to the other side here. To get away from the fire, to get away from everything else, we say peek down, and then we should just be able to just kind of continue like this. Yeah, okay, so it's clunky, but that's how you do it. That's how you dodge or use Shocking Dash over an area like that. Hot damn, Dusk. Nicely done. So if we are quiet now, going prone on the roof here, we might be able to just wait things out a little bit here. So, of course, we are thirsty, so let's go. That's not going to help us. That's not going to help us. What we can do, though, is activate our teapot, which we don't have on our person right now. Did I choose to leave that behind? I don't feel like that is something I would do. I see what has happened here. Something terrible has happened. Something truly disastrous has happened. We haven't lost our pack, but our dimensional tool belt has been completely destroyed at some point throughout all of this. Which, if I had to guess, this is the worst part, it was probably when we were down below. Now, I believe we can actually search through this here, but we can only see back so far. If we search for belt, nothing. Okay, that is some very, very bad news for us. But is it the end? No, we are still alive. That is the main thing. And some of our goods might still be out there. We need to bandage ourselves up here. We've spotted a skeletal brute. Over there, over in that direction. That's fine. We can continue doing what we are doing here. Let's just make sure that it's going to... Yeah, we actually had to continue doing that. Oh, and there's a Shadow Raptor here. So we are going to go and slam with a Mind Hammer. We're going to try to. We're going to fail, and then we're going to try and do the same thing again. Failing once more. And you're gone because you're a Shadow Raptor. Okay, we'll wait until you get close and disappear once again. Ow, that hurts. And a Mind Hammer does it. Okay, our arm is bleeding once again, so we'll stop that. We will stand back up. We're in distracting pain currently. We've been in dire circumstances like this before with Dusk. It's not new, but my gosh, what a close call, I'll say, because it was still very, very close. I do need to keep in mind that we can use the trees. If, push comes to shove, we can, quickly dart up onto one of them. We're just lucky that we have so many different options. Oh boy, there are so many dead. And that's a zombie necromancer. So, you know what? I wouldn't mind trying to see if we could do a little something here. Maybe a little bit of force shove. Oh, where'd you go? Where'd you go, buddy? Where'd you go? You down there somewhere still? I'm sure you are. Hello there. I just kind of want to see if this will work, if we can shove them over that way. So if we say shove and then, damn. Okay, we sent it, it collided with something. It kind of worked, kind of didn't. I think what we'd have to do is probably go force shove, select them, go shove, and then we can't go down. So doing it between levels, I think, is going to be rather difficult. We managed to stun a Thormic zombie, though, so I think that there was probably one in the window frame, and it just went on out there. If we had a little bit more mana, we could potentially try to summon a holograph in the fire, which would bait a lot of the zombies on over towards it. I'm kind of intrigued to see if we could manage that. Mirror image. Summon 2 holograms, range 2, spell radius 3. It's like 300 mana. Ow. That was the Caustic Soldier, I think. We're going to take one of our greater mana potions here because I think having extra mana at our disposal is definitely going to be worth it. Yeah, we're safe right now, but we are still in a pretty tricky position. Let's just have a look. We could potentially phase across towards here, get sight of what's going on. Let's just have a look at that. Awaken Teleporter, phase, range 2. Not quite. That is something that I want to improve because, God, it's useful. We can also just go stand on the edge here and just have a look out the front and just see what we can see, which right now, we can't see that much out the front of the property. This was a wood house, so that's going to completely burn up. So what we want to be doing right now is trying to get whatever we can that was dropped, that was left behind when our belt inevitably broke. And I mean, we really haven't traveled all that far. So it is in this radius here. It's around this area. And I mean, our stamina is good right now. So theoretically, we're in a position where we can just fight. And I'm half tempted to do so. I think the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to cast Dark Sight. Actually, we need to get, oh no, we can cast with our wand out. It's a magical focus. So, Dark Sight. Oh, there's a 96% chance of failure on Dark Sight, I think. Yeah. Oh, ouch. Focus is still terrible. Oh yeah, because we don't have our MP3 player. We don't have our MP3 player because that would have been in our tool belt. Wow, okay, we have lost a lot. And our smartphone as well. Okay. Well, as it stands, getting towards dawn is not going to be easy, not with the flames that are raging down below. We can't really rely on magic right now because it's going to be too difficult for us to cast many of these spells. We could probably take some codeine to start to help with the pain that we're currently experiencing. It'll take a little bit for that to take effect. We're actually under the effect of a fair amount of painkillers already, though, so this is fine. All right, let's get that greater wand put back away for now. I think we're going to try and get off of here. Just to be safe, we are going to go and phase down. All right, there we go. Let's just wait a little bit here, get our stamina back. Hello there. Strike at you. I'm fine with us trying to clear out some of the local dead that are still hanging around here. A nearby zombie rises from the dead. Let's just make sure that we are using Tai Chi here, and if we even get the slightest idea that we might be getting surrounded or overwhelmed, we just phase. We phase back up onto the roof. Okay, acidic zombies for days. It's a lot of acid. We may be attacked. I realize this. I guess it's because the Shambler is just tracking us at the moment. Yes, attack the Shambler. Thank you. A caustic amalgamation. Okay, so we are going to attempt to force shove the amalgamation back against the wall there, doing some pretty serious damage, mind you. I'm going to try and do the same thing again. It just seems to be the more reliable way to be able to damage them. Force shove, and we fail. Force shove, and we fail again. I say it's more reliable. It certainly can be. Damn. Destroying a brick wall with our telekinesis. Oh yeah, there is definitely a necromancer close to here because, there you are. All right. They're bringing dead back left, right, and center. We are seeing more necromancers down there in this house, which I guess, yeah, this section of it hasn't burnt as well because it's stone. So let's do something about that, huh? All right, we are gonna launch a fireball right over here. We're gonna follow that up with another one immediately, and then this gargoyle needs to die. So we'll just drop the wand, take a few quick strikes at you. Necromancer got brought back, which means that there's another one around here somewhere. So let's just grab that wand real quick, start moving, grooving, realize that there are probably a few more here than we want to deal with, but we can manage this so far. Staying close to here so that we can boost up onto the roof if we need to. It's kind of starting to look that way. The bruiser, I think we can still handle just fine as is. The corrosive zombie, less so. We know that that is just a major pain in the ass for us to deal with. Right now, we'd rather not deal with it. So let's just make our way away for now. Try and see what's going on with some of this noise. All right, can we do a stealth force shove? Shove you into the wall. And, well, that's unfortunate. Flesh raptors, but we know what we like to do with them. Force shove, of course. Slam it into that wall there. It's wild that the lighter bodies of the flesh raptors are still thrown with enough force that we can do that. Now we do have a basement here. That is quite useful for us. That will give us time to recover a little bit if we need to. It's also a choke point as well if we are dealing with a large number of dead, which, you know, we have been for the most part. We've got a zombie predator here. We'll go and strike you away. Let you run back towards us. Are you getting brought back to life here? A little hard as hell. It could have just been another zombie predator. All right, the snotty one over here, we're going to go and throw into the wall just so that we don't get boomed. And of course, that was quite a bit of noise, so we should expect some of the dead to make their way over here. There's that corrosive zombie. Okay, so let's see. We want to probably try and see if we can force shove that. Ideally, slamming it into the wall up there. Pretty good. I think if we can throw them a little bit further, we do end up doing more damage. So let's just try a few times to see if we can get this off. Okay, good. And let's try and go for maybe this way. Nice. Again, it was stunning them, but we're not doing too much damage to them. So I'm wondering whether or not a mind hammer might do more for us here. The chance of success is still pretty low, and it is more stamina that we're expending here. I'll give it one more shot before we decide to make our way down, and we do strike. Blind and stunned. Very good. Now, if we could keep that up, that would be awesome, but we don't quite have the stamina to do that. So let's just stand here for now. We're going to wait till that zombie raven folk gets a little bit closer. Strike at them a few times. There is a boomer somewhere, and I think the corrosive zombie might actually be on top of where we are right now. I don't think its corrosive acid will be able to affect us the same way on the staircase. So if we just wait here, all right, we can still see it. Now it's popped out. Unfortunate. Okay, I kind of want it to follow us a little bit further away. All right, that should be more of a better angle for getting a decent force shove off. We were hit then, briefly. Slam you back into that wall. awesome. Stunned, but they seem to be more resistant than some of the other dead that we've been facing. So, oh no. Now the painkillers are really starting to take effect. We feel dizzy and we actually fell over onto the ground then. Not good, not good. So, I think we need to try and get off some sneaky mind hammers, ideally. Awesome. Managed to hit it in the leg there, slowing it, staggering it. Okay. Another one of those, thank you. Any day now. Maybe a force shove, actually, just get a little bit more distance if possible. Okay. Managed to stun it. We're going to try and see if we can get some stamina back as, oh boy, it's here. Okay, we might just have to try and fight it. And I know that that's not great because we are going to be getting covered in acid, but honestly, sometimes it is just the fastest way to take care of one of my least favorite enemies in Cataclysm. Okay, we're feeling tired. We're feeling dizzy because, yep, too many painkillers in the system right now. We're not in pain anymore, yay, but we are feeling it. What a weird time for Dusk. Weird, yes, but not that weird at the same time. Now that Dusk has a moment to think, there is an ancient ring of stones up there, huh? Maybe we should have had a closer look at that, because origin magicalism. Maybe I should have had a closer look at that. There are a number of things in this area that we still want to look at, the stone ring being one of them. We also need to get Dawn back and ideally find where that dimensional tool belt fell apart. And for that, Dusk is going to need this moment of peace, calm and quiet to be able to think, to be able to reflect, and for me to be able to go back through the footage to see if I can figure out where it dropped. But Legionnaires, that does mean that unfortunately this is where today's episode is going to be coming to a close. It is always difficult to predict what we are going to get when I start up this save. But danger, disaster, and fireballs aplenty. I think that's almost a guarantee now. The danger of the world is keeping pace with Dusk. Eventually, it may even overtake her. The evolution of the dead here is faster than normal. Their numbers far higher. Of all the worlds in Cataclysm we have experienced, is by far the most difficult, with no hope. Yet there is always a glimmer, isn't there? And so, with that, I ask you all, if you enjoyed today's episode, please consider leaving a comment or a like to let me know if you enjoyed the show. As for now, I have been Rycon, you have all been awesome, and until next time, stay tuned.